Norwich city centre is bursting with wild fruit at the moment. I've been walking past these for over a week thinking what can I bake with them. So in today's video I'm going to make an apple hedgerow cake with lovely blackberries. Let's get into it. Back in the bakery and we're straight into prep. My lovely foraged blackberries are washed and ready to go. And they're nicely sweet, so I'm going to use a really tart apple for this to give it some punch, Granny Smith's. And I'm going to dice these really small because I'm making small cakes and I want little pieces of apple inside every cake. Okay, straight into wet ingredients, and I'm going to start with the standard ones first. I've got almond milk. You can use any plant milk for this. Apple cider vinegar. Vanilla essence. And sunflower oil. And to max out the apple flavour on this cake, I'm going to use some apple juice concentrate as well. Dry ingredients next, and as this is the first gluten-free recipe on my channel, I tested lots of different options to find out which one was the best. I tested 9 different flours, and what I found was there's no such thing as the perfect gluten-free flour. You have to use a blend of flours to get the best results. I could use a blend ready mix like this. This one uses 5 different flours, for example. But the problem with that is if you're using a different blend to me, you're going to get different results because gluten-free is quite temperamental. So this recipe uses 2 flours. It uses a mixture of white rice flour and ground almond flour, and that way hopefully everyone get hold of these and get the same results as I've got. And when I combine these together, I found I got really nice flavour and a really nice texture. No need to sieve the flours here as the white rice flour is really fine and the ground almonds won't go through the sieve anyway. Next, some salt, some cinnamon and some white caster sugar. I did try other sugars and the best of the rest was coconut sugar. It gave a lovely flavour, but it did give a very dark crumb. Finally, to bind the mixture together, just like the flour, I need a combo of binding agents here. I'm going to use pea protein and starch. I tested 4 different types of starch: potato, corn, tapioca and arrowroot, and arrowroot was by far and away the best. It gave the best texture, the most natural mouthfeel, and had a really neutral flavour so the fruit and the sugar could really pop through. Normally we combine the wet without the flour as we don't want to overwork the gluten, make a tough cake and a chewy texture. No need to worry about that here. We haven't got any gluten anyway, so we're going to use an all-in-one method and combine all the ingredients together in the same bowl. Because the almond flour is quite gritty, it needs a long mix time, so I'm going to go for a fast speed, speed 3, for a full 10 minutes. That will be too long to add the raisin agents in at the same time, so I'm going to hold back my bicarb of soda and my baking powder until that 10 minutes mix is finished. And whilst that's mixing, I'm going to get my oven preheated at 165 degrees C. I'm going to get my mini loaf tin lightly greased, ready to go. I'm then going to add the raisin agents in and just combine on speed 1 for just 40 seconds. Next, I'm going to add in my lovely blackberries. These are the perfect size, so I haven't got to chop them in 2, and my diced apple, and give them a quick stir through with a spatula. Now you can portion these out either by eye, or if you're a bit nerdy like me, you'll use some scales. You're looking for about 140 to 145 grams each. Keep stirring as you're portioning. You want to make sure that fruit is really evenly distributed. In case you're wondering, would this work as one large loaf tin? I've got to be honest, probably not. Even if you baked it for a longer time, it would still be a little bit soggy in the middle. I found gluten-free recipes to be very sensitive to a change in the tin type, and I've optimized this for a mini loaf or a muffin at a push, so I would stick with that format for this one. If you want any larger gluten-free cake recipes, I'll put a few on the tweaker, and I'll put a link in the description below. As soon as that's finished, we're going to bake these at 165 degrees C for about 33 minutes or until a toothpick comes out clean. I'm going to make a really simple icing to decorate my cakes with just 2 ingredients. The first of these is icing sugar and the second is fresh blackberries. And I'm just going to add these into a food processor and I'm going to blend for a couple of minutes until it's really smooth. And every now and again I'm going to give it a quick scrape down just to make sure everything's incorporated. That looks really good, nice and smooth, and you could drizzle this on using a spatula or a spoon. That's the easy way, but I'm going to use a squeezy bottle because I want them to look super pretty, because I'm going to take photographs of these for my book this afternoon. If you are using a squeezy bottle, then you may have to sieve it first because otherwise the pips from the blackberries won't go through the nozzle. And then just drizzle over about 2/3 of each cake. Quick dust with icing sugar on the corners just adds a little elegance to something that's quite a rustic cake. I'm going to finish off with some blackberries on top. First of all, that's not crumbly or dry, which is what a lot of people criticise gluten-free cake for. It's got a lovely texture and a lovely fruity flavour. I think using that neutral white rice flour and the arrowroot is definitely the key to making this cake taste so fruity. I did try one with buckwheat flour and that gave a lovely texture as well, but it did trample all over the fruitiness a little bit. This would be perfect with some vegan ice cream or some vegan custard. But there it is, simple cake to make and very cheap too if you go foraging. I hope you liked this video. Please like and subscribe it if you did, and I will catch you in the next one.